Hello, my name is Allison Engel. I'm an astrologer, I'm a mom. I facilitate women's evolutionary consciousness. I provide groups, and you can process with your chart or without. So astrology is a great blueprint and map to our ever unfolding consciousness. But what I want to introduce is a layer of astrology that's been really important to me for a long time. Understanding astrology and has helped me understand my children's unique expression, their creative instincts, and through my own process work, I understand that these things don't change. That these placements in our birth chart are our blueprint, that our inherent design can evolve as our children evolve, but they don't really change. And so that's why we're all unique, we're all different. But this uniqueness can set us apart from ourselves and our community and our families, unless we kind of have it in the field of awareness that we're all taking part in. So this is why it's really important to me as a mother to understand my children's designs and to hold space for that with an awareness of how this is very specific to them, how to nurture them, and how to keep this process for them in a place of sustenance, so that we're allowing ourselves to grow upon, expand upon, and not have something else dictating how we're supposed to be expressing our blueprint. And this is kind of the work that I do with women, is that this process of unraveling the core issues that are represented in the birth chart can just really be given to children. So I've been doing this work for about 3 years, really deep dives, and if you saw my chart and understood astrology, you would understand why this is so important to me. But it's about giving them themselves right out of the gate, so that they're not spending years, because I work with some women who are in their 60s and 70s who still have so many layers of their psyche that are covering over their own sustenance, their own nurturance, their own natural instincts, their own connection to their unique genius. And I am not interested in my children suffering a day in this lifetime because of something that was dictated to them, that said that they were wrong, or that they needed to be some different person in order to belong to themselves. They had to find something outside of themselves in order to belong to society. And so for me, it's so important to just give this back to children. It is their rights. So for years while processing, it was just like, nope, I found this new insight about myself that I never had access to before, and it was just like, it's yours. Here it is, it's yours. It belongs to you, your sovereignty, your truth. You're allowed to unapologetically be clear about who you are, your weaknesses and your strengths, and to own that unapologetically. So today I really want to focus on some really basic outline of understanding, and this is really just me cutting the astrology chart into quadrants, right? There, inside these quadrants, there are degrees. Inside of each sign, there's 30 degrees. So 90 degrees. Each degree has its own definition. So if we're adding houses, planets, it's a lot to digest. But for an astrologer, specifically working in the quantum, unpacking those layers isn't so tough. But here I just want to bring out something that's very easy to digest, and how simplistic it can be to understand, but then it also introduces how complex it can be. So if we have a child with sun, moon, or planet placements in this south quadrant, this is just going to be a maturing process of them understanding themselves and not negating themselves. Through understanding themselves, they will be able to help others more. But what happens is, because the sun is sitting down here at the IC, this is the most introverted place. So the sun is down here, this is at 12 o'clock a.m. This is 12 o'clock p.m. This is going to be a more inward looking investigatory process with children. So if your child has a sun or moon or several planets in this quadrant, they're not going to be looking outside of themselves. They're not going to be looking to their environment. They're not going to be looking to others, and they're not going to be looking to society. If you're forcing them into these places, they're going to lose touch with themselves. So when they're forced into these places more and more so, they're going to get more and more wounding, because there's a negation of self and their own self-acquisition and their own learning cues, and how their system is telling them how to behave and how to understand themselves and how to mature properly. So it's really important to understand, because I'll help you out with how I know this so well. All of my planets are here. The more I focus on myself, the more I can focus on other people. The more I can focus on other people, the more I have to give other people. This means that I like to be self-reflective. This is how I learn, through my own cognition. I don't want to learn from other people. So I have converged depth psychology and quantum physics with astrology. I wrote a book on it, but listening to quantum physicists, I don't think about it the same way that they do, right? They're beautiful, intelligent people, but I can't learn from how they think about it. I have to have my own space in order to really understand and process that information the way I need to in order to understand. So if I had someone dictating that to me, because I'm just watching videos on YouTube, if I had someone dictating that to me and then asking me to regurgitate that through their basic understanding of quantum physics, it's going to be useless to me. It's going to be useless to me, because the way I use it is quantum physics equals psyche, always. And so this is my brain, this is my intellect that can't be dictated by someone else's understanding of anything, because my system organizes and strategizes for me. I'm not necessarily doing it. So that's why when I'm being dictated to, I just don't learn that way. But it looks then like what? I'm ungovernable, right? But if we had a basic working of astrology when I was younger, maybe this wouldn't be such an issue. Maybe I wouldn't have so many complexities around this. And this is why I have to give this to children and parents, to help open out this process for them, to allow them to be who they are, and to be able to trust themselves as who they are. So if we have this IC functioning as the most kind of hidden aspect, or introverted aspect of the chart, because the sun is down here and this is internal, it's below the horizon, this is external, so this all meets the light of day. If we have planets up here or a whole chart up here, people are going to be more public, they're going to be more extroverted, they're going to be more involved. But if you try and force a child who has these placements out here, forcing them to learn through others in society, you're going to be doing harm, and you're going to be negating their actual interests in themselves and how they learn. They're going to struggle. So here we enter into the place where if you have sun, moon, or a bunch of planets, you can have your whole chart in this quadrant, that you're going to learn through your environment. Not necessarily other people, but through the environment itself. So, so this is organizing structures at home, this is relationships with other people, but also how you want to creatively express yourself in your environment, how you want to be felt and seen in your home. The home still means a lot because we're under the horizon and this is inside of you. This is still very inside of you. So learning how to gauge your environment then becomes really important to how you're learning about yourself. So in this quadrant here, we're learning about self through the relationship with other people. So when people have planets or even their sun, moon in the 7th house of relationships, they get a sense of self through others. This is just how they work. So if you see someone with a planet in the 8th house, it's going to be more hidden, but it's still going to be above the horizon, so open and available, but still more hidden aspect. But they want power. They want to be seen as powerful. And so that's why it's important then for others to see them as powerful individuals, or to be seen in that light of day, to be seen for their power. But if we don't understand that this is what we need to be congratulating children about and opening out, because these things don't change, then we're going to be wounding our children and not allowing them to have a sounding board with their own natural resources. So this is all about relationships here. And what we have here is children with planets or placements here, they want to be in a group, like surrounded, like all encompassed in the group. So if you force a child who wants to strategize with a group, who wants to be involved, who wants to be seen more in this sun on the midheaven, they want to be outspoken, they want to be leading, they want to be focused on work, they want to be resourcing outward, right? So these people are resourcing inwardly, learning that way. These people are going to be resourcing outward. So children here, even if you're homeschooling or unschooling, they want to be part of a group, whether it's through the internet or in the community. That is something they need, because even if Uranus is here, which is their individual genius, I'll be making a video about that later, like this is their genius. You have to let them explore this genius the way it needs to explore. So if you're if you have a child that wants to get these needs met and explore their own blueprint through groups and through society, and you're just keeping them in an environment or keeping them internally with themselves, they're not going to get their needs met. They're not going to be able to navigate that because it's just not their design. So it's really important to understand and can help assess parents who are providing a more self-directed learning environment, especially right now. Understanding how to create a blueprint for schooling that works for your child, but also how to leave these resources wide open for them to understand that they might be getting needs met here, and how do we integrate that intentionally and create an infrastructure that matches who they are, how they're going to get their needs met, how they're going to continue to evolve and not be negated for who they actually are. So you can watch a child and learn just through encountering them, but astrology gives you so much information about who they are and how you can initiate them by seeing their blueprint, initiate them into who they are. So even if you've been in the house for a while now, but you know that they have a planet here and they have a need here, they might need your help to get that initiation going, to warm up so that can come alive in them, so that blueprint can flourish. And we can use astrology to get us there, to really understand who our children is, or who our children are, and not have limiting or exaggerated beliefs about who they're supposed to be. This allows us to get into their own quantum body and access their own gnosis and their own genius without asking them to come over here and get their needs met when it's going to be some other more symbiotic relationship that we can see through astrology. So thanks for coming. There'll be more, lots of fun stuff to open out here.